Hello guys, welcome back from the BCSS Brothers Center for Sublime Services Islamabad. I'm Dr. Raza once again with one of the most major disastrous problem for the competitive exams. After essay, now we'll talk about the Precis. I would share the tips one by one in the form of points. And first of all, read the given passage very carefully, at least 2 to 3 times, in order to able to understand, to grasp what the writer has said, or grasp the main idea or theme of that very passage, because most of the times it's taken from the philosophical subjects and it's very difficult to understand that what is the main theme. And once we are unable to understand the main theme, we are unable to understand the paragraph. Secondly, underline the important points to be included in your Precis. A point is important if it is intimately connected with the main subject and if it is essential for a clear exposition of the theme. Thirdly, use your own language in the Precis, while words and phrases from the original may be used in Precis. Whole sentence should never be left out of the original to be included in it. Next point is that the Precis should be roughly 1/3 of the original passage. It's up to you that you count number of words in one line and then multiply to the number of total lines and divide it on 3 and you will get an idea. So when you are writing a draft on the rough side, so you will be able to calculate that how many words you need to include, exclude, or whatever you decide about it, but it should be around the 1/3 of the original passage. Always prepare a rough draft first and count the words. If you find that is too long, short it by removing what seems essential and by condensing phraseology. If it turns out to be shortened, read the original to see what more can be added to the Precis. Examples, illustrations, comparisons should be left out of the Precis. Figure of speech should be removed and the ideas expressed in clear, direct language. Next point is, you can comment on the ideas of the Precis are absolutely forbidden. Do not express any your personal opinion, favorable or unfavorable, about the ideas in the original passage. And the next point is language. Be very careful about the language you write. Mistakes of grammar and spelling are penalized as much in the Precis as in other forms of composition. So be careful about the language. See that your Precis is a Precis of readable English and that its ideas can be understood even by a person who has not gone through the original Precis or passage. This is very important. You have to take care about it. Your Precis should be a connected wholesome, not some lines or sentences which are unclear and not that very lucid. As such, it should not be divided into paragraphs. This rule does not apply to very long original pieces of writing such as those set in the competitive examinations. So you can write more than one paragraphs, but it should be in a paragraph if the para is small. Do not use the direct form of speech in the Precis. If the author has written in the first person pronouns using I and my, you should write in the third person pronoun, I mean he and his. The Precis may in such cases begin thus: the author says, or according to author. In case the name of the author is say for example Bertrand Russell is given at the end of the passage, the Precis should begin thus: according to Russell, or according to Macaulay, or Macaulay says. Think of a suitable title of the Precis. That's That's the point. Just like you write the conclusion of an essay, the examiner will immediately look at the title of the précis, and if it is suitable, then he will get interested into reading out your précis, and he had already made up his mind that you have already performed well in the précis. And of course, there are certain marks. Say for example, 20 plus 5 marks of title or 15 plus 5 marks of title. So of course, title makes you entitled to pass the précis. Last and the most important point is indicate the number of words in your précis at its end. So by taking care of all these points, you will be able to write a good précis. And the most important point is that before sitting into the examination, I couldn't mention in the video I made for essay guidelines. So you just need to do practice, practice and practice, especially from the past papers and from the philosophical books like Unpopular Essays by Bertrand Russell, Why I'm Not Christian by Bertrand Russell, Fallen Leaves by Will Durant, and many such other books. You can go for such readings. Once you have a habit of extensive reading, of course you can perform very well in the examination. So for essay, précis and all such other forms of composition, practice is just like it is needed for the mathematics. So you keep on doing practice, you get your expression, your language, your grammar, your everything improved by each and every day. Do consult with some good teacher or some consultant or advisor, a senior who can guide you, who can tell you how to trim, where to manipulate or value add, or where to short down or abridge things. So for all these sorts of subjects, for all these kinds of stuff or genre, you just need to do practice. A lot of practice is needed for a successful one. So thank you so much. We'll be back soon with the next episode on comprehension, understanding and getting the answers. Thank you.